Okay, what we're gonna do, Miss Crowley, we're gonna introduce all of us, and then I'm gonna swear you in, and then we're gonna read it into the record, and then we're gonna start the hearing, okay?
Okay.
I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted Agus, board member.
Ryan McSherry, Board Counsel.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Jay Scaria, Department of License and Inspections.
Thomas Rabikowski, City of Philadelphia, License and Inspections.
Okay, has everybody identified himself? All right, Mrs. Crowley, could you please raise your right hand? Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Could you please respond to me and tell me your full name, please?
Yes, and Janice Roundtree Crawley.
Okay. All right, Phil, could you read that in the record?
Yes, sir. This is case number 1 on today's list, MI 2023-000893 for the property located at 2604 North Hollywood Street. The appellant is Janice Crawley.
Okay, we'll start the hearing out by hearing what Tom Rabikowski has to say for the city.
So as the city did not make the appeal, I'm going to defer to the appellant. I only have one question. As the property is still relative to the ownership, I just wanted to make sure or preserve for the record as to ownership or standing. We have that the property in the city's record is listed as a Henry and Dorothy Roundtree, and the appellant is Janice Crawley. I just wanted to see how is she related to the property. And then with that, I'm going to defer to the appellant.
Okay, Ms. Crawley, could you tell us how you're related to those people?
Yes, that was my mother and father. And when they passed like maybe 20, my mother 30 years ago, my father, he died in 2003. The will was probated, but my sister never did anything after that. She was the executrix. So I went downtown and I got letters of testamentary, and that's how I was getting stuff done on the house.
Okay, Ryan, she good?
I would say so. If you are,
Okay.
I would just ask if you know, is your sister still involved? Does she still have an ownership interest in the property?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm good with Ms. Crowley.
I believe we can proceed.
So,
Yes.
okay, tell me your part of the story with the house, okay?
Me?
Yes.
Is it my turn?
It's
Yes.
your turn, yes.
January the 25th of 2022, there were leaks on.
Oh, you froze up.
It might be an issue with her using video at the same time. If you can hear me, Ms. Crowley, it might help to turn off the video. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but if you turn off your video, it might help your connection. It might be due to your internet connection.
But he is now I see you.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Could you just restart, because you froze at the beginning right before you?
Yeah, we only got, you said January 25th, and then we lost you, okay?
Okay. So January the 25th, 2022. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
loud and
Okay.
clear.
Okay. The water company came out after I had been calling them since October the 9th of 2022. And they came out that particular day because 4 other people's water had leaked too, and it had leaked into their basement cellars, whatever people call them. So we got together in a mass. And we kept calling. So they came out on the 25th and they turned all of our water off. Some of the people had the money.
All 4 people's water that you said that leaked into their house?
Yep. It was
Really?
4 different people.
Okay.
And the city, and the city came out and they shut off the people that I'm high on the block. I'm 2604. So they shut off 2016's, I believe, and I can't remember the other two.
Okay.
Well, 2016 was a young lady whose mother had just passed, so she had the money. So she fixed her water system. I, on the other hand, and the other two people did not have the money to fix it. Plus, I didn't believe it was our fault because it was 4 different people who had water that was coming in their cellars. And it was 2616, 2604, and 2606. So it was, water coming into their cellars too. And they have been putting in a new sewer line on Huntington Street, which is parallel to my house. And, I could see they were there for like 4 or 5 months. And they were there January the 25th too. So they turned off my water. They didn't even tell me they were going to do that. They turned off my water. So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I went through all these different people. I can give you the names if you want me to. I went through Bullock. She was the state senator. I went through Mr. Hughes, Vince Hughes. I went to Darrell Clark's office. I went to Amen Brown's office because they were unsure if Miss Bullock or Amen Brown
I got you.
was my state
I
person.
got you.
So I went to all of them, and they said they couldn't do anything because the house wasn't in my name. But I had letters of testamentary and had used that for everything, and it was fine. The water company said they couldn't take the letters of testamentary. So to get work done on the house so that I could have water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so PhD, somebody said go to PHDC. So I went to PHDC and I showed, well, it was all through Zoom too. I showed her, my letters of testamentary. I gave that to her. I gave her the obituaries of my mother and father. And, I had gotten work done on my house, put an electrical box in my house from PHDC, not 5 years before that. And it was fine to use the letters of testamentary. So I kept searching and searching and searching for someone who would do it just based on the letter of testamentary. All the programs I went to, all the people's, all of my state senators and representatives and everything said that they could not do anything for me because the house was not in my name. So it's been a year and almost a year and 2 months that I haven't had any water.
Really?
So,
A year and
yes.
2 months?
Yes, my water has been off since January the 25th of 2022.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I got in contact with I can't think of their name, CLS. And that's the city legal program or whatever they call itself. And I have a lawyer call me. Her name was Daniela. And she said she knew of a program that could help me get the water with the letters of testamentary. But when a person went to pull a permit, they
We give it to them.
they wouldn't give it to them because they said this other violation that I had, a woman had ran into the side of my house and knocked off some of the bricks, was in the system. So they said the people that were going to do it from another program that the city has and CLS is in contact with. So I went downtown Friday because first of all, I thought I had appealed it when I got it back in 21. But she let me reappeal, and that's when I got this emergency repeal. We have not had water. I can't tell you how much money I've spent in water. I don't have any assistance from anything except my social security, which I get, once a month.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even realize how expensive water was until I had to buy it. I asked different organizations, could they help me? And they were like, not with water. I guess it's just like a weird thing to need help with.
Let me ask you a question. What did the water department do? Did anybody contact the water department
My
and say, can you accept this? For a
now
year or so, I didn't have water.
yes,
Ridiculous. And Vince Hughes, Donald Clark, and all that did nothing.
nothing. Tammy, that was in Donald Clark's office, said she called PHDC and they told her that they could not do anything because I had, an unsafe situation. So, not for an unsafe situation because I didn't have the deed in my name. So, everybody I went to gave me such a hard time. They knew that I was in here with no water, with a 2-year-old and a 16-year-old.
You're kidding.
They just didn't care. So when this other violation came up that I thought I had appealed because somebody ran into my house and knocked some bricks down, I went down to find out what, I thought I had appealed it, but the letter that I got said nothing about this the first letter I got from Notice to Correct, it just said e-duty vehicle impact. And it just said that my my house had been hit, and I don't remember, it didn't say it was unsafe. It never said that to me, but it was a second letter that when I went down there Friday, she gave to me where he said the exterior was, it could fall down. It's like maybe 6 bricks that fell out when she hit my
Do
house.
we have any pictures of this?
Yeah, I have pictures.
Okay, let's take a look at them.
I don't know how to
Pictures
do
of the unsafe damage?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what we're looking at. That's what she's here for, right?
I have them in my packet, so
Okay,
let me,
that's what Mrs. Crowley's here for, the unsafe.
well, that's what
on the
I'm,
bricks,
that's what I'm
right?
getting at, because we have an appeal filed in our system, or at least created in our system back in February of 2022. But that looks like that appeal was for the water department. And then we have an appeal that was filed yesterday, or created in the system. That's what brings us to today's hearing for the appeal of the unsafe violation. It doesn't matter to me because I think that this administrative board has the jurisdiction to rule on both appeals because one violation coincides with the other. So let me present my packet, my opening statement, and then
Okay,
I'll take my position with the board. So
right, Tom.
as far as with the property itself, the property was deemed unsafe following an inspection that took place in July 22nd of 2021, following a vehicle impact that struck the left-hand corner of the property. Dislodged bricks, and an unsafe case was written against the property. That said, the unsafe case needs to be, the repairs need to be done. I'm going to share my screen and for the board. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
Ms. Crawley, in your appeal, you're basically asking for the board to render a decision to allow you to apply for a plumbing permit and also to render a decision on the unsafe case, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so in the interest of time, this is the board, this is the notice of violation. The notice of violation is dated July 23rd of 2021, following the inspection that took place, declaring it as unsafe for emergency duty vehicle impact to the front exterior wall. And then I'm just going to go right to the nuts and bolts. I'll go right to This is a photograph that was taken July 21st of 2021, showing the vehicle impacting the corner, the corner right at the step of the front of the property. Ms. Crawley, are you still residing in the property?
Yes, I am.
Okay. This is another photograph. Unfortunately, it's turned to the side, but I'll go to this one. Like I said, the vehicle impacted the corner right at the return of the side and the front wall. And then this is a photograph taken back in January 7th of 2023. I'll rotate the photograph.
Zooming in on the damaged area would help too.
Yep.
Yeah. Where's that? Right that corner right there?
Now it's going to be testing my computer skills to zoom in here.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks.
The plus.
Where you
No,
going?
just go over to the plus. On the bottom of the screen, get that bar on the bottom, go to the plus sign. There you go.
There we go. So it's right here at the corner where it would have been the brownstone. It impacted that, caused the brownstone to dislodge, and some of the interior brickwork is loose and missing. So an unsafe case was written on the property.
Why does it have a different address on it?
Because the computer or the GPS locator for the phone or the mobile app that uses the GPS locator, that's where the photograph was taken, or the photograph was taken from across the street. So,
Okay.
Ms. Crowley, that's your house, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all
Okay.
right, go ahead.
so that's pretty much the extent of it. My petition or my petition to the board is to basically give the authority to suspend the violation for 10 days. So it would be suspend the violation, the unsafe violation, till February 23rd. That being said, with the violation being suspended, Ms. Crawley can contact her plumber. Her plumber can go online and apply for her plumbing permit virtually, does not have to come into the building, and can get this emergency permit to restore the water service in her property. After February the 23rd, the unsafe violation would be reinstated back to the property, and Ms. Crawley could engage the services of a contractor to pull the make safe permit for the repair of the masonry for the property.
Okay, Ms. Crowley, what would be easier for you to do? Would it be easier for you to patch that brick? Could you afford to do that? And how much, does anyone know what the rough price would be to take care of that brick?
That brickwork would have to be done by a contractor, though.
Okay, all right. What do you think it costs?
Depending upon the contractor and how much actually has to be fixed and reattached, I don't know what the estimate would be.
And so what we're asking her to do is get the water fixed first and then do that, right?
Yes.
So, okay. Well, I have a problem with the water.
Basically,
here's my problem.
I mean, technically, under Philadelphia code, without having water service in a property, it is deemed uninhabitable.
Okay.
So this is an emergency repair. So
I understand.
I'm basically suggesting to the board to give the authority to suspend the violation for 10 days up to February 23rd. With it being suspended, this would allow Ms. Crawley's plumber. She makes an assertion that the Rapid Router or one of the agencies or a plumber would be able to apply for this permit. Well, with the unsafe case being suspended, it would allow them to go online and apply for this permit and get the water service put back on in the property. Once that's done, then I would ask this board to give her 60 days to get a make safe permit for the repair of the property. That would have to be done under the guisement of.
That's good, Tom. I like that, but here's what I don't like. I don't like, how does she know that it's her fault? How do they know that it's Miss Crowley's fault that water's leaking is coming from her house?
That's the water department that's not a.
Okay,
designation
that's
by
that
LNI.
was my next question. Thanks, Tom. The thing is, has anybody from the water department contacted you, Ms. Crowley?
No,
No, okay.
but I have a
How
list.
do
I
we
have-
get, did they dig the street up?
Yeah, they dug the street up, and he didn't even come in and warn us that the water was going to be off.
And
So
did
when
they
they-
say why, what caused the leak? The water
No.
department? Do they have
They
a
just-
place where you can find out? Brian,
Yeah,
can you find out what happens on that house with the leak?
I could look into it. I can't say right now. I would need to. I would
Because
need to
here's
look
the
into
thing.
that. Yeah.
If the water, if it's not Miss Crowley's fault, okay, why is she gonna pay when the city was out there doing something, okay? Why didn't they fix everything? Now, what, she has to go out and get a plumber and costing her money, and she don't know if she caused the problem? See, I don't like that, all right? And the thing is, you know, I think the water department should tell her if it was her issue in her house that they did not fix, or was it caused by 16 running downhill to 6 and 4? How do we find that out? And for this woman to not have water for a year and a half, that's ridiculous. And and the politicians gonna help you? What
No.
cop outs?
The
That's a
last person,
disgrace.
yeah, I
So
went
how do
to
we
Darrell.
find out to help Miss Crowley?
The only thing from what I can ascertain the board is exactly what we can do is the board can
I'll
suspend the
find out,
violation.
hold on. Hey, Don, what's the head of the water department? What's his name? Randy Hain, got his phone number? Hey, Miss Crowley, I'm gonna give you a phone number. Okay?
Okay. Uh-huh,
The guy that runs the water department's name's Randy Heyman. I'm gonna
okay,
give you his number. Because you could call till you're blue in the face in some of these departments, they'll never help you. This guy is the boss. He runs the whole water department. Don, give me that number. You got a pen? Miss
Yeah.
Crowley?
I got a pen.
215
215
685
685
6103.
6103.
Give me the other one. 215 606
Okay,
2562. His name's Randy Heyman. He's the commissioner of the water department. Okay? And ask him if he could take a look at it. How do we get around this other stuff that she owns the house now when it has to be fixed on the brick being out, but she don't own the house to fix the water? How do we get around that to tell the water department to let her have the, you know, to accept her permits or pull the permits, and if it's not her fault, let them fix it?
Well, Mr. Miller, for PHDC did say that there's a dirty title in that Ms. Crowley is not the listed owner on the property. So PHDC won't help with funding for the repair. But
The thing is, her parents died 20 and 30 years ago.
I understand that. But the department, LNI, we will allow a contractor or an attorney, design professional, or someone of that nature to ascertain a permit. That's why I'm saying, let's get the water taken care of first, get the plumber to apply for the permit. This is an emergency repair. The plumber can come out and do the repair and then apply for the permit. That's the way
And
it
the
is.
thing is, then she has to pay for us. How about she doesn't have the money? How about she doesn't have the money and it ain't her fault? She hasn't had water in over a year. That's a disgrace. Tom, and I'm not, don't get me wrong. The thing is, I don't like that stuff. And I think it's a disgrace
So
that this is happening.
I did have that somebody had tried to, and I believe it was Miss Crowley, came down on the 1st and tried to apply for a permit from the department. The applicant came to the counter, is not the listed owner, but has paperwork in process for ownership of from family member. Applicant has water shut off to the property with an appeal to the system, may require a plumber, but work to supply water should be considered an emergency and permit obtained within 42 hours of completion. And then the plans examiner or the permit intake official explained to the applicant that a make safe permit is required to be obtained for the property. Any permits to be obtained by a licensed contractor. So that's where I'm saying with the board can make the ruling to suspend the unsafe violation.
That's
allow
good, that's no
pump
problem, we'll do that.
to do that, and then make the ruling to have 60 days to get the make safe permit with a licensed
Okay.
contractor. That brings today's.
See, here's the thing that bothers me, and I know I'm a pain in the ass, okay? But here's the thing. Has anybody on this board ever been without a dime? Anybody on this board never had a cent to know where their next meal's coming from, or you can't buy a pizza, or you can't do things like this, and you want me to put the money out to get a plumber, which I probably don't have the money, I'm on a social security check, and it's probably minimal, to put that money out when you don't have it, and then the cycle goes around and you don't get anything done. We ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Ryan, whatever we gotta do, we gotta get that fixed for her. This stuff is nuts. A year and a half, over a year with no water? That's inhumane, that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace. Okay, so Tom, we'll waive that, we gotta do something with this water department.
Tom, what's the
No.
date carrying us to until February?
My position is February 23rd for and then it would be February 24th for the violation to be reinstated.
Okay. Tom, I know sometimes LNI has actually made repairs. Is that an option?
Not in the way of a water service. And
No, I didn't mean the water service. I meant the brick.
For if it was an accessory structure, as far as a porch, then, and if it was possible to remove the accessory structure, we could do a site improvement. In this case, this is the front wall and side return of the property itself. So no, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay. Well, I concur with Tom's recommendations.
Okay,
Likewise.
let's not go anyplace yet, all right? Just hold on 1 second, so I find something out. Am I on mute? Am I on mute?
No? You're still not on mute.
Okay, I don't want to be on it. Just hold on a second. Ms. Crowley, tell me your address.
2604 North Hollywood Street, Philadelphia, PA 19132.
Just hold on for a second.
Okay.
Okay. What you got? All right, okay, so how is she gonna be able to get the water department to do something when they're saying she doesn't own the house? What do we do? Do we just tell her, oh, go do it and they won't do anything? What do we do?
I hate to say it, but unfortunately, I don't believe the board has jurisdiction on the water department. I think we can add pressure through elected officials to the water department. But as far as the board itself, the only thing is the ruling of the board is basically on the variance of the unsafe violation as far as whether or not it's affirmed or not. As far as this is, that's the proposal is to suspend the violation, to allow her to engage the services of a plumber. If the water department is willing to come out and without doing the plumber, then all power to them. But as far as this, I would say suspend the violation for 2 weeks, allow whatever's happening. If she gets the water department to come out and do it, all better to her. If she gets a plumber to come out and do it, then that allows her to apply for the plumbing permit within that time frame online. If not, then the violation would be reinstated and then 60 days to engage the services of a contractor. Contractor pulls the make safe permit.
Is anyone else on that block with the water, has that been turned on yet?
The one girl who had some money from her mother had passed and left her some money. And the other two people, they just left. You know, they were elderly and they just left. I don't know if they went to live with their kids or whatever. And the guy across the street, 2606, he has a big hole in his ground where he tried to do it himself. Then he had these people come and open up something, but he didn't have enough money to finish it. So he just has a big,
How much did they charge him?
I think he said when they dug up the street, it was $3,000, I think.
Okay,
And then
that's what they had to pay the city, right?
no, they had a private
They
contractor
had a
too,
private
because
plumber? Okay.
yeah, the city wouldn't do anything. And can I say this too? PHDC told me that they couldn't help me because license and inspections would not accept my letters of testamentary. I must have called her. Her name is Brittany Hall. I must have called her 1,000 times and said, is there anything I can do to get PHDC? And she kept saying the same thing. So I sent an email to her supervisor. I sent an email to the man that ran the program, and never heard nothing back.
Ryan, how are we, I know we might be veering off a little bit, but this is all the same thing. Okay. This woman, if they won't accept her, the papers that she's showing her, or whatever the word that you used, then it'll never get done. She went to all these people and she can't get any help.
Well, if I understand correctly, you have Community Legal Services, which is CLS. The attorney there is in the process of trying to establish sort of rightful title to the house. And I don't know, did they give you a sense of how long that may take to be completed?
No, and CLS, her name is Daniela. She's been very good. You know, she told me about these programs, you know, other programs I had never heard of, and no one in these offices knew anything. So she's been very helpful. But she said she sent it to the Tangle Deeds last Friday. So I guess it takes a minute for them to contact me. But that's what she
what's
said.
the Tangle Deeds? What does that mean?
That's because the property is still in her mother, her family member.
Okay, so what we gotta do, we gotta get her the ability to have that house, okay? You know, they have power attorney from, I don't know, is that what they do? Ryan, you're the lawyer.
Yes, I mean, I think the only solution would just be a stay of enforcement to allow her to clean up the title, so she's legally listed as the owner, and then she would be able to proceed with all the permits and everything.
Okay, okay. So what do we have to do? Can anybody help her or usher her, or, you know, to get this?
Unfortunately, PHDC will not enact any kind of funding or assistance unless the property is actually in Miss Crowley's name.
Okay, and then the city won't let her do any work to pull the
The
permits
city-
because it ain't in her name.
No, that's not the case. The city won't allow the owner to pull a permit that's issued to them because they're not the listed owner. We will allow a contractor, an attorney, a design professional, or an expediter to pull a permit. So she could employ those individuals to pull a permit while the deed is still dirty. And to do that, and they would have to name the contractor to do the work. Ms. Crowley couldn't be the applicant because she's not the owner of the property. But a contractor, for say, or one of those individuals, they could be named as the applicant on the permit, and then they could list the contractor to do the repair. It all comes down to funding. So like I said, on the board, you could rule to give her the 60 days. I'd be willing to go to 90 for a stay of enforcement for her to be able to get the Make Safe permit. That would give 90 days for CLS, Community Legal Services, to try to get the deed remedied, and then she could turn around and go right to PHDC. But with that said, I'm going to turn it over to the board.
Okay. Do
And
you know a contractor, Ms. Crowley?
I know Daniela has put me, she found a contractor that would do it without, with the letters of testamentary. But when they went to pull the title, when they went to get the permits, this other violation was showing. So they said they couldn't do anything inside my house. And I think they had to come like from my cellar into the street. So they said they couldn't, it all comes back to the deed. Now, let me say this. My sister is the executor. She has some serious mental problems. I have been down there 3 or 4 times to try to probate the will. It didn't work out. But PHDC told me that it was the license and inspection that wouldn't let them do the work. Not, they never told me anything about a Make Safe, petition or anything like that. So I'm really, that's what's so strange to me, because PHDC had given me an electrical box just 4 years before that. And they used the letters of testamentary. And all of a sudden they said they couldn't use it anymore. So.
Okay, now, Tom, is that waived now that she can get a permit pulled?
If you guys if the board is willing to suspend it till the end of business, the 23rd, then yes, as soon as at the conclusion of today's hearing, I will go in and suspend the violation, pairing on the board's ruling, and give till the end of business, the 23rd, to apply for that plumbing permit. And then after that, then we can go and take the Make Safe permit at the board's ruling.
Because this is messy, I'm going to suggest that we give her till March 10th. Give her an extra 2 weeks.
I agree. Okay, we agree. The board agrees.
Okay with me.
Okay.
And then we would give her 60 days or 90 days beyond March 10th for the next permit for the Make Safe.
Okay. Ms. Crowley, is that okay?
That's fine. That's all I need.
Okay, all right. I'm going to give you my phone number.
Okay.
My number is 215.
Okay.
704.
704.
5747.
Wait a minute. My
Okay.
pen. Wait a minute. Let me get another pen. It just
All
went
right,
out.
take your time. Take your time.
Okay.
Just take your time.
It's a problem. I never have a pen.
That's my
Never.
problem.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay,
215.
215.
704.
5747.
5747.
That's my cell phone. Okay?
Mhm.
And call me.
All right.
Call me.
I will.
Call me today.
Okay.
call me about in a couple hours, all right?
Okay,
Okay, we'll see what we can do, all right?
all right, thank you.
Okay, I'll talk to you. Thanks very much. Is everybody good? We're all set?
Thank
Yes.
you.
Tom, we all set?
All good.
Great. Mrs. Crowley, I'll be talking to you this afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Are we off the
Are
record?
we all? The
Yeah, we're
recording,
off the. You're on, Cal. Let's go. Okay, guys, are you for the case for McCollum Street?
Wayne, they're still connecting to, oh, I'm sorry.
Are you connected with McCollum Street? That's you, right? So is there two of yous?
Yes.
Yes.
Michael
Okay,
Cole and
good.
myself.
Okay. Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Yes, sir.
Can hear you, yes. What we're gonna do, we're gonna identify ourselves. And then after we identify ourselves, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand and we're gonna swear anyone in who's testifying in the hearing. I would want you to state your name and then respond, yes, that you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but truth. Okay, so now we're gonna begin. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
John
Dines, fire code.
My apologies. Ryan McSherry, board counsel.
Yeah, I already put comment there. What did you receive? Motto Boards Administration.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Jay Scoria, Department of License and Inspections.
Okay, is that everyone? Okay, so if you're gonna be testifying in the case, could you please raise your right hand? Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth,
I do.
and state your name. And
Michael
respond to me,
Pasquarella, I
yes?
do.
Okay, state your name.
Mickey Pasquarella.
Michael Cole.
Okay, everybody got it? Okay, Phil, read it into the record.
This is case number 2 on today's list, MI 2023-000-774 for the property located at 1324 McClellan Street. The appellant is Michael Cole.
Okay, whoever's gonna present the case for the appellant, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for hearing us. The basis of our concern is that the existing basement slab of this property was in pretty bad shape. The mechanical systems are in the basement, as with most of the properties, and we need to repair the slab. Unfortunately, by the nature of doing that kind of work, that does change the height of the ceiling in the basement. As a result of that, it triggers the city ordinance that requires an escape well be installed for the basement. We are in compliance with the state adopted code in that this would not be required, not in compliance with the city ordinance superseding that code. The difficulty we're having is that the basement does not extend to the rear yard. So we have no ability to access the basement well to the rear yard, which leaves us with the front yard or the front of the building, which is on the public right of way. Unfortunately, according to the streets city code, we cannot get a fully code compliant well in the street because the sidewalk is not wide enough. So we're kind of at a loss and we're looking for direction as to how we can best comply with all the city codes.
What is the city compliant code for an escape?
Building code requires at least a 3-foot depth to the well. The
Okay, what can you provide?
streets limitation is 3 feet or 25% of the sidewalk, whichever is less, which means any sidewalk less than 12 feet is going to produce a non-compliant well. 25% of the 10 feet is not going to make the 3-foot requirement to meet the building code.
What can you meet?
Honestly, we can't, we could get 2'6", I guess that would be.
Jace, I know I've personally done drawings for window wells in 6-foot or 7-foot sidewalks, and they've been approved. Is there criteria he's missing, or?
I think his issue is I mean, for his specific egress well, he needs at least 3-foot depth, but the way that I guess streets department has that regulation saying that he can't place that in, but you would need to get a variance from the board if you want to get something that's less than 3 feet projection. I'm not sure how you're going to go against the streets department though.
Right, so
Michael,
Jace-
you said that you're allowed to have a projection of 2'6", correct?
Is that 10% of 10 feet or
Yes.
25% of 10 feet? So yes.
Yes.
Conversely, 3 feet is, 30% of 10 feet, as opposed to the 25 that is the maximum. Are we allowed to provide a variance so that only 70% of the sidewalk remains as opposed to 75%, or is that something only streets department?
I think only streets department can provide that. I don't know, if Ryan, you might want to. I'm pretty sure we can't do anything about any kind of street variance.
So if it would be up to the board to give a variance, have we ever done that before? Anybody's recollection?
I don't think it's up to us,
Who's it up to?
streets department.
No. If we give a relief from the 3 foot to make it 2'6", that would be us.
Oh.
Right,
Yeah,
correct.
you know what I mean?
Okay,
So have we ever given that before?
no, we have not.
Okay, John, hey, Dimes, you're big. Could you get through a 2'6" escape hatch or escape route?
Yeah, probably. We did some training actually up the academy, and it's amazing what you can get. It's not easy. You got to maneuver your body and stuff like that. It really comes down to would a normal person be able to do that in an emergency situation in a fire? I think it would be problematic, but possible. I mean, I know that's kind of I think it's correct, but not helpful answer.
And this egress well would be right at the bottom of the steps, correct?
Correct. So we'd need a flush hatch so we can walk on it.
Yeah. And I believe you identify the steps as being 3 feet wide.
Correct.
So we're saying that the steps can stick 3 feet out from the face of the house, but now the egress well can't, which is kind of ridiculous.
Not logical, but it's how the code is written, yes.
Yeah, I think what we would like is for streets department to waive their requirement. Is there a mechanism for them to appeal that? And for us to grant a variance in the event that they're not successful in getting streets department to bend on it?
I don't know that. Who would know it?
I would need to look into that to see if the board has the authority to do that.
Did you already run this by the streets department? Or you just going by the code?
I'm going by code, but I have attempted this several times in the past, and I was told very succinctly by the supervisors that it is not permitted.
Even with the fact that this is a flush top to the well, which basically means that somebody can walk the full width of the sidewalk at that point, makes no sense.
And it's a 10-foot
Agreed.
sidewalk. The 10-foot
Plus the
sidewalk,
steps sticking out.
he wouldn't be out any further than the steps.
No.
It would be not as far.
And you'd have 7 feet clear beyond that, next to the steps. And push a stroller and all that.
Yes.
As opposed to
Okay.
7'6", which is, what
Right.
would be required. You're 6 inches off. Can we authorize them to build the curb out 6 inches into the street?
All right, yeah, we can do a lot of things. Will they listen? I don't know. Deb, can you put Ted, Amy, and myself in the waiting room or in a secure room?
Jamie? Jamie's gonna do that.
Okay, Jamie, let's go.
And do you need Ryan in there?
Yes, he should
Yeah,
already.
Ryan, you come in.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Ryan, are you allowed to let yourself, are you
I think
allowed to let
I'm
yourself
I'm
in
able
that
to.
room?
Yeah, I
Can
think
you-
I'm gonna try
Okay,
and join
all
in right now.
Okay.
Can I
I'm
say
not
one
sure-
quick thing?
Sure, go ahead, say it real quick.
I don't know if we changed the actual height of the basement 3 inches. So that really is from where I sit, that's what's important is it's not going to be a bedroom. It's just raw space. It's just a little bit deeper because we dug it out and flattened it and provided, stone so it doesn't flood. It's not a living space.
How much concrete did you pour? 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches?
Yeah, 2 inches, I guess. But we took out like this much. They had poured several, like 3 slabs, including like this much for the washer, dryer, or whatever they had in front. It was just a total mess.
Mhm.
What's your finish height gonna be?
Michael?
I believe it's 7 feet.
So it is a habitable space.
Conceivably,
Technically.
could be, yes.
Well, by code, it is a habitable space.
Well,
That
the
means you need
occupancy
escape.
wouldn't define it that way, but yes, the height would, yes.
And what's the square footage of the basement?
Definitely more than the 200.
Okay, all right.
I assume that's where you're going.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Okay. All right, put us in a room. Deb.
Ryan? Jamie, can you put the board
Yes,
members
I'm
in
here.
Ryan?
So if you click on your screen where it says breakout rooms, you could just go. So the rooms are already.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Where is
Jamie,
that?
that's what we got you for. Now you're putting us to work.
Do you see where it says breakout room? All you gotta
I'm
do is-
leaving. Bye, I'm
Let
going
me
to
get
break
up
up.
here. I can't see. Hold on. Let's see. Now, what am I looking for?
Breakout room. So along the bottom.
All right, I'm looking. Oh, I got it. All right, good. I couldn't see from back here, so far away. Okay, join breakout room.
Do we
Good deal.
pause at this point or do we stay recording?
Pause.
I told that we were saying,
Okay, we're back on the record, and the thing is, the board, we made our decision, we said, we'll grant the variance of the egress being 2'6", the escape, I should say, but what we were looking at is, could you make it wider than 3 foot? Could you make it 2'6" by 4 foot? Wide? What do you think?
Can't hear you,
You're on
Michael.
mute, Michael.
Mike,
Michael,
you're
you're
on
on mute.
mute. Michael, can't hear you. Yo, Mike,
My apologies.
there you go.
Yes, we can do that.
Can you do
So
it?
3 foot deep by 4 foot wide.
No,
Uh,
2
2'6"
I'm
by
sorry.
4 foot wide.
2'6" by 4 foot wide. Yes, we can do that.
Okay,
In the
you got your
meantime,
variance.
we're gonna, attempt to reach out to the streets department to discuss this generically. We'll see, what comes of that, but at least we want you to have an option going
Thank
forward.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, guys, good
Hoping to
luck.
be an agent of change for the streets department too.
I got a list for them if you want
Every department
it.
has their own fight for them. They're the rulers, they're the kings. So, but hey, it is what it is.
Members,
Thanks a
thank
lot,
you very,
guys.
very much.
Good luck.
Okay,
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
We off the record?
In progress.
Oh, Jesus, Mary.
Recording's on. This person's name is Gary Wolf.
Yeah, I see the G.
Okay.
Hey, Gar, can you get in, can we see your face? There you go. All right,
Hey, how you doing?
good. How you making out?
Not bad.
Okay, everybody ready? Are we recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do, Gar. We're gonna introduce ourselves, and then I'm gonna ask you, to raise your right hand and I go through a little, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but that stuff. And then you're gonna state your full name. Okay, so here we go. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted Agus, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
Ryan McSherry, Board Counsel.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Jay Scuria, Department of License and Inspections.
Did Jamie, you say who you were?
Normally I don't announce myself, but my name is Jamie with Licenses and Inspections.
Okay, good. All right, so, Gary Beans, you're testifying in the case. Please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Please respond.
Yes, I do.
Okay, could you tell us your full name?
Gary Wolf, GaryWolfe.
Thank you, Phil. You want to put it on in the record?
Yes, sir. This is case number 3 on the list, MI 2023-000776 for the property located at 221 Earp Street.
Okay. Gary, you want to present the case, please?
Sure. So what we have here, it's a RSA 5 lot in a single family neighborhood. What we're proposing is a typical 3-story single family home. The only 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The only refusal item that we received was for the lack of rear emergency escape and rescue to the rear of the building. And as you can see from the, I have drawings here that I can present if you want. I think I sent them all to you.
Absolutely, throw them in. Let's hear
Sure.
it.
So, sure, they're let's see.
And for the record, Gary, you work for KJO Architects?
That's right. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. You say.
So this is the lot here, and as you can see, there is no access to a rear alley available. And given the narrow conditions of the lot, it's 12 foot wide, and compensating for the adjacent party wall, we reduced the actual building a few inches. So the building itself and the floor plans we're proposing are actually be about 11'8" or 11'6". I think we're showing 11'8" on the building plans. But given the narrow conditions, it's sort of unfeasible to create an alley with access to Earp Street, and we can't access the American Street as we're not on the corner, and there's no existing alley there either. So I think the variance we were asking for here is for that one single item, for the lack of access to an alley to right away from the rear.
Gary, would you be willing to put the egress well on the front of the house? Even though I know it's a 10-foot sidewalk, streets,
Right.
streets, it's not allowed, but if we were willing to give you a variance for a smaller egress well, would that work?
I'm not sure. I mean, we had tried that with streets, like you're suggesting, and they didn't approve that. And it also makes it difficult with the entry, stairway. Even though we're trying to keep the building height to be kind of comparable with the other buildings, like with the adjacent 219 Earp. I think when we tried those options, it didn't really work very well.
What option did you try with streets?
We showed a front egress wall with the steps, and I think they said that it was encroaching too far into the 10-foot sidewalk.
Well, what we would, and again, I'm speaking without the board's consent, but
Yeah.
we might be willing to give you a variance for an egress well that's only 30 inches deep. So it's that 25% width of the sidewalk. And then maybe 4 foot wide.
Sure. That could be an option, I suppose. I think that it didn't really work. That didn't seem like the optimal way to make the rest of the floor plan work. Given the it's a very tight lot, and the floor plans we have are pretty.
What's in your basement at that front?
Yeah, I can bring that up too. Let me see.
And you do have a bedroom located in the rear of the structure. on I think it's the floor
That's
level.
on the second floor, yes, yeah. Can you see the floor plans here?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Jace, would it be an issue if he had the egress well? Well, he couldn't come out of that mechanical room. I guess he'd have to come out of the remove the laundry or something.
They would have to swap the location of the appliances.
Yeah. But you could go into that room, like, as long as it's not a bedroom in the back, in the basement.
Right, they would have to swap all the utilities to the rear of the structure, move the egress well to the front, and then they have to get rid of the bedrooms in the rear of the structure. I have everything on in the front facing
Right, so
up.
that still probably wouldn't work for what the building owners had in mind to have 2 bedrooms on the second floor. You'd still have a bedroom in the rear. You know, even if we moved that basement egress well to the front, that rear second bedroom, I guess would still be an issue that the refusal is commenting about.
Exactly.
What's, is there any other options, Jace, or something else they could do?
Usually, because of the lot width, to put an egress well back through the building, I don't think that's really a feasible based on the floor area that's provided on the first floor level, especially with the stairs being double that width. So the only other recommendation, I can't really give recommendations, but
No, not a recommendation,
right. I think in the past, if they had access to any of the adjacent neighborhoods, adjacent lots.
What's in back of them?
It looks like it's completely landlocked. So there's I think it's everyone's backyard.
They bump into a backyard. And then along their side, they're along somebody's side yard.
That's correct. Yeah, it's bordered by other adjacent properties on all sides.
Wow.
According to the atlas and according to the deeds of the surrounding properties.
Well, we can't go back under the side of the house. Not enough room. It'd be difficult to put it out the front. We're landlocked in the back. This is a real pickle, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, that's why we kind of wanted to propose this. It seemed like kind of a conducive lot for a variance like this, given the conditions that are here.
Yeah, but what are you giving us? So we can,
Yeah, well, so when I spoke with the owners previously, they'd be willing to add some fire ratings, add whatever whatever concessions you guys would be looking for, whatever whatever you decide really. To get this 2-bedroom layout on the second floor, they were kind of willing to compromise with whatever, depending on what you would, what you require.
Do they currently live there?
So these owners actually live next door. They live at 219 Earth Street.
Do they own 219?
They own that, and they own this lot as well, and they're building their new house here, and I think they're going to sell the other house.
Oh.
But
I was gonna see if we could work.
Put a caveat in there that this house is allowed to exit or get into a place of refuge in the back of the other houses.
yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Benefit both houses.
Sure, that sounds like a good solution.
For place of area refuge under the IBC, it's usually 50 feet. If you want to do anything less than that, you'd have to get a variance from the board.
Yeah, they'd only be getting about 25 feet away at best.
Well, is that for both houses together, Aim?
I'm happy to share my
the other
screen.
2 houses that he owns, or
If
what are we
Gary
gonna do?
wants to stop share screen, I can.
Sure, I can stop it now.
Yeah, why don't you bring it up? Ain't good. Where you go?
So this is their lot,
Where's their lot?
the blue.
Okay,
So if they could get an agreement with particularly this neighbor, they could get plenty far away from the house in the event of a fire. And then this is the other house that they own, which would only get them, like I said, about 25 feet away at that corner.
well, did you say that they own two
They
more
own
houses
this
there
house?
besides the one you're talking about? Darren?
Yeah.
They own 219, right?
Right.
And what else do they own?
221 is the lot they're building on.
Okay, they own 219, and what other lot do they own? I thought he said two lots besides that.
Wayne, 221 is the property that they're building
I
on.
understand that. The thing
And
is, I thought he
219,
said,
right, 219, they own one additional, a total of two.
oh, you only a total of two? I thought it was a total of three.
Oh.
No, these are the only two lots that
Oh,
they
okay,
own.
I thought it was
So-
three.
Rockhead.
So again, I don't know if they know the people that live in this big lot on Sears Street, but that would get them very far away if they wanted to talk to them to get an agreement to having an unlocked gate.
Is that a house or a multi-unit building?
It looks like it's a single family.
Hey, can you bring out the actual houses?
If I go to Google,
All right, good idea.
and I know you can do it on Atlas. I'm just not that good at that. So it's this lot,
Mhm.
and that would be, we're asking them to get back into this area.
Yeah, can you go over to Sears Street and just see what that looks like from street view?
Yeah.
Street.
Sears. I'm not sure if I went the right way.
I think you're lost.
All right, let me go back to Atlas. And this is 216 to 20 Sears. So Sears was the alley. So it looks like it's this thing. This big house.
Okay.
Or it's this big house. So I think it's one of those two.
Uh-huh.
Just wondering, it's not an alley. I mean, does that cover the full lot there? Or the
Here's
full
this little
lot?
alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, zoning would show you if there was any kind of an alley, but there's not.
Okay, got it.
All right, I'm gonna stop my share. So I guess we're saying potentially with an agreement with 216 to 220 Sears that they could get into their backyard, we would accept that. How much of a rear yard are you leaving?
11.2.
Yeah, it's a by right project, so it's only covering 75% of the lot, and the rear yard. Pulling it up again here. Rear yard is the rear property line kind of jogs a little bit, but on the long side it's 14'8". On the short side it's 11'8".
Well, if they can't get an agreement with Sears Street, what do we do? Is this house built already?
No, we're looking to get the building permits now. That's where we're at in the process. Yeah. There's an existing building there. There's an existing 2-story, or no, I'm sorry. There's that's next 219 has an existing 2-story home. This lot is vacant right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to continue this case and give you time, or you and your client time to talk to the neighbors?
Yeah, that'll work for us. I mean, I know that they, time was important to them. So I mean, if say that they couldn't get an agreement with the neighboring property owners, what else could we propose? Like, would I know in other cases we've had like I mentioned, there was additional fire ratings that were added to certain properties for for apartment buildings and things like that. Is there anything else that we could do that would kind of
somebody say sprinkler,
make the property more compliant with this requirement?
Sprinkler.
What did somebody say? Sprinkle it?
Well, it'll be sprinklered like every other new construction. It was going to be sprinklered, but
many years ago, we had given out variances with fire ratings on the rear wall, as long as there was at least a 15-foot rear yard.
okay.
But we stopped giving those variances, and you're not even in that 15-foot range.
Right. And out of curiosity, is it a 1-hour rating on your rear wall?
Not at this time. That wasn't required, but we can propose that. We can show that on the drawings if that would make a difference. The side walls, the walls along the adjoining property lines will be rated, but the front and rear walls were not. They weren't required to be. Yeah, was that something that we could propose? Would that make a difference for a rated rear wall?
It's still, it's not enough.
I think we would require that regardless.
Yeah.
But the
You're
distance is
still trapped too close to a fire, and
Exactly.
the firemen can't get back there.
Right. 15 feet is, it's scolding.
Well, all right, we're looking at the Life Safety Act condition that the people in the egress well and on the first floor can get 15 feet away, but can the fire department comment on the egress windows upstairs?
What type, what are you looking for, Aim, as far as a comment, as far as what?
Well, we're trying to make it work that the people in the house at the first floor and basement can get 50 feet away from the fire, but
Right.
it doesn't give you access to the second floor windows.
No, it doesn't. I mean, there's no alleyway. I mean, there's things we do at the fire department. We got to go up and over and we can ventilate and stuff like that. But trying to do, have a rescue, I mean, we can go through adjacent properties. We do that in emergency situations. You drag hose line or ladders and you get to the rear that way. Everything comes down to time in a fire, right? Any emergency situation, it's always time. So is there ways to get there? Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we can do anything, but we'll eventually get the job done. It's just a matter of, at what cost, what time. So when it comes to these types of situations, like the board has been commenting on, I've been in fires where cars across the street have melted from fire blowing out the front of the house. You would think that won't happen. You go there and the car's scorched. So you can't really fathom it until you experience it. So that's why this requirement's there. So it's just a tough situation in an inner city when you have lots this small to try to comply with building codes that are really written in international for the country. They're just not thinking that way, in my opinion, anyway. So, but for the fire department operations and laddering and rescuing in the back of a building that is landlocked, yeah, the challenge is there. And again, not to get into the whole fire science things, fires spread rapidly. And if the sprinkler system didn't diminish it or put it out and there was, it overwhelmed the sprinkler system, and then having that challenge of getting to commit a rescue with a landlocked property, it most likely it wouldn't come out to a great conclusion.
I don't know if there's any way to reconfigure that second, I mean, it seems like it's only the second floor. That would be an issue. If there's any way to get that bedroom out of the back and move it to the front, put a bathroom in the back,
Sure.
if we resolve the basement.
Right, the basement as well. Yeah. Okay. So what, I mean, what if that's their only option, then yeah, I can discuss it with our clients, with the property owners, and see what we can work out as far as an area of refuge or as far as revising the design, you know.
Okay.
When is the next time that we can get on the schedule, do you think?
February 23rd.
Debbie, do you think they could get on our next hearing?
The next hearing date is Thursday, February 23rd.
Okay.
So if you're ready, then you can email me and let me know. I can put you on that date.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I know they'd like to get it.
Okay. If not, it would have to be the first one in March.
Sure.
So we'll continue it.
I suppose, yeah, I guess so. If that's what you're requiring, then yep, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think every effort should be made to get the Sears Street property, access to their yard. The one adjacent, which obviously is easier since they own it. I mean, confirm that that's doable. But
Sure.
Sears is the ideal one.
If there was a way to get, you would want 50 feet of distance for an area of refuge to if they could utilize an adjacent property. That's what it'd be 50 foot from the rear wall. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we will. Yeah, I guess if we could get on the schedule for the 23rd, that'd be great. Then I guess we'll meet back up then.
What date's that? The 23rd, right, Deb?
Yes, the Thursday, the 23rd of February.
23rd. All right, Garrett?
And if you need more time, Mr.
Let us
Wolf,
know.
just contact me and we can just put in one of the dates in March, the first one in March.
March.
All right. No, great.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay.
All right, we'll look to see you then. All
All right.
right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.